All right, so a little bit about Marquee 360. We are a Microsoft Gold Partner for Project and Portfolio Management and Collaboration. We have locations across the US, Canada, Europe. Um, our founders are either from Microsoft or have worked with Microsoft products for over 20 years. So they have a strong relationship with Microsoft, the product sellers, the executive team. So if there's anything coming down the line from Microsoft, upgrades, changes, we know about those quickly and are able to get our customers ready. So we focus on digital transformation. What that means is we take your manual processes and we automate those so that you can focus on the work that matters. Any approval processes, things like that, we automate those. And we do that using Microsoft 365 platform. And you'll see a little bit more of that on the next slide. We like to focus on customer success. We call ourselves a Microsoft partner because that's what we truly are. Um, from beginning to discovery, um, we like to see what works in your environment or what works for your business, and then we'll work with you through the implementation, and then afterwards with implementation training and support. So we don't just implement our products and leave you to it. We want you to be as successful as possible afterwards as well. All right, so like I said, we do work on the Microsoft 365 platform, and this diagram just shows you the products we use and what we use them for. So we give you this one connected experience on one platform where you can manage your projects throughout the entire project lifecycle. And working with the Microsoft platform gives you and us an advantage because there's no custom code. So any changes that you have to make, any changes we might have to make are much easier. Another advantage with using the Microsoft products you're all probably already using is that we can take some of those capabilities in that one end-to-end solution and break it down into just one app or one capability that you might be missing, or maybe you don't have the budget to do a whole solution. So it gives us the opportunity to work within your means and work with your business to give you exactly what you need. And I'm going to pass it over to Stella.
Hi. Okay, so Erin, if you just want to go to the next slide. So today, I'm going to go ahead and start with my camera. So today we are going to look at Microsoft's newest cloud-based work and project management service, Project for the Web. Specifically, we're going to look at how Project for the Web can be utilized for portfolio management. So really quickly, what is portfolio management in PPM 360? At the portfolio level, we have all the projects under a portfolio manager, often called a PMO umbrella. One organization could have a PMO for each business area. However, a portfolio can include both projects and programs. A program is typically a group of projects that are similar and usually work together. So now we're going to go ahead and look at Marquee's pre-configured accelerator for Project for the Web, PPM 360, to look at how we can manage portfolios in PPM 360 specifically. I'll go ahead and share my screen. So as I said, what we're looking at now is Marquee 360's pre-configured accelerator for Project for the Web. And this can be used to populate data for pre-developed Power BI reports, which will work with Project for the Web data to display the most up-to-date information. We'll take a look at how the data that we're looking at right now in Project for the Web will populate the Power BI report data. So let's start by taking a look at portfolios. As you can see here, we have 3 portfolios created in our PPM 360 environment. If we go into our real estate investment portfolio, we can see general information for a portfolio financials, and all the projects included in this portfolio. Of course, everything that you're seeing here is customizable, So in addition to having this text field for description, you can add other things here that could define what a portfolio would look like for your company. We have some KPIs here, such as portfolio health, financial health, and schedule health. Currently set to where the PMO can set these themselves. However, there are parameters that can be set and predefined, such as if 25% of the projects in this portfolio are at risk, then the overall portfolio health will be at risk as well. If we take a look at portfolio financials here, we can see that these are calculated from the sum total of all of the projects included in this portfolio. If we make changes to it actively, we can come back and see the last update. And if we've made an update since this time and date, we can simply just click on the calculator here to recalculate it. Now let's take a look at all of the projects included in our real estate investment portfolio. So once again, this view is also customizable, but for the purposes here, we have overall health for each of our projects, the name, start date, finish date, earliest start date, and the hours completed so far in the project. Now, if we go into our projects and take a look at programs, we can see here that we have two programs here that are actually going to include all of the projects that we just looked at from the real estate investment portfolio. In this example, we'll see that all of the projects in these two programs are real estate investment portfolio. However, this is not always the case. Portfolios include groups of programs and projects which may or may not be related. Programs, however, typically include similar projects with shared resources across projects in each program. Join us for our upcoming webinar on June 22nd, where we'll actually discuss resource management and see how we can group resources with available capacity to do more work by program, skill, and role. So let's take a look at the programs. We can see here that we have 4 active projects. We can see that 2 are on track, 2 are at risk. So if we go in here, we can see general information. Once again, all of this is customizable. We can see the status for this program. Once again, its KPIs can be set. And then we can see here the sums or the calculated budget, actual cost, remaining benefits, and project ROI for all of the projects included in this program. Here's a list of the projects. And the tab also for notes if we had any. Now we can go back to our other program, rental properties here, which also shows us the number of active projects and provides the same information here as well. Now, if we wanted to create a new program, we could do so by going to our program and clicking new here. Priority, business unit. Once again, all these choice values are customizable. Set a manager for this program specifically, program type, and goals as well. Once again, everything here is customizable. We have some text fields here if I wanted to give the program a specific description, and then discuss the value of the projects in this program here under business case. Of course, there's not going to be any projects. I first create a new program. So if I were to save and close this one here, now the new program demo will appear as an option for me to assign a project to this program. So now let's take a look at our projects. So here in this view, I can see all of my active projects. This view is customizable to where if I want to see which program and portfolio each of my projects are assigned to, I can do so by adding those columns. So if I want to do that, I would go here and press Add Columns. Portfolios here. Program. And now I can drag these wherever I want. Apply. And now if I really like this view and I want to save it as a user, I can do so by clicking here, and it'll show me all my other views. And I can save it as a new view here. I would then name this view for future use and give a description if I wanted to. So I've actually already created this view because I really enjoy it and it's very useful for me. So I'm going to go ahead and just move over to that. So as you can see here, I have a list of all of my projects with the overall health, the name, schedule, budget, health, scope, and resource. Here I have which program program each of my projects is in, and the portfolio. So as we can see here, when we started from portfolios, the real estate investment portfolio, all 8 of these projects are in this portfolio. But as we can see here, as we discussed, not all are going to be necessarily in the same program. This view is very useful if I wanted to see a view, for example, of which projects are at risk or may need additional assistance. I can then go into that project and see what are the issues or where that might need additional assistance, whether it be resources or scope or schedule or even budget. So as I mentioned before, Project for the Web is cloud-based and works with the Power Platform. So data from Project for the Web for our portfolios, programs, and projects are used to populate our Power BI reports. These reports are utilized for project and portfolio management. So now that we've looked at how the data is viewed and populated here in Project for the Web, let's take a look at our Power BI reports and see how those can be useful as well. So going back to the slide really quickly, we'll see here, these views that we have are going to populate some pre-developed reports that we have. So our portfolio health here, if we wanted to look at our real estate investment portfolio, we would do so here. And these include both of these programs. This is interactive report. So if I wanted to see, for example, which of this critical project is referring to, I click the image and the table will then filter that to show me which are critical in this. Same for any other parts of this visual. If I wanted to see which projects had a resource health at risk, I would click this area and it would show me. Here's some filters that we currently have on the report, such as project manager. I'm the project manager for all of them, so of course it would show me. And state, so they're currently all active as well. This is customizable to where we can include any filters here that are fields in the app. Let's take a look at some of our other portfolio reports we have, which is going to be the portfolio dashboard. This provides some other visuals for us and information about all of the projects. So once again, we have our filters here. So if I wanted to look at, for example, all of the projects in my real estate remodels or my rental properties, I could do so. We also have our portfolio timeline report and our portfolio milestones. This report is really useful for seeing what milestones you have coming up in the next 30 days or ones that just occurred. And as most of you may know, a milestone is defined in the schedule as a task with 0-day duration, 0-day task. 0 hours, 0-day duration. Once again, this report's also interactive, so we can click in any of these areas to see which of the example of the 6 projects which of the 3 projects this one's referring to as well. So today we reviewed program, portfolio, and project management, and we discussed the value of utilizing project and portfolio management and Project for the Web. and how data can be used to automatically populate your Power BI reports. We briefly discussed how program management can be used for resource management, and we hope you join us for our webinar on June 22nd, where we will discuss resource management in greater detail. And Erin?
Thanks so much, Stella. Does anybody have any questions? I know we had a couple in the chat that we've answered as Stella was presenting. Is there anything else that any questions that anybody else has?
Let me look at these questions really quickly. So yes, so Amy, that is correct. And the Power BI reports, these are some pre-developed Power BI reports that we have. I'll go ahead and share my screen. These are just pre-developed reports that we have, but they're absolutely customizable. So any of the fields that you were to add, for example, in here, if you wanted to add for my portfolios, for example, if it was important for me to capture, next steps or lessons learned or goals, for example, for the overall portfolio, I could add this as well. Any of the fields that we were include in a new program, you could also include, or any of these project fields. And those can also be made filters on the reports. Any of these columns can also be customizable and are also interactive. So for example, I can sort this by alphabetical order. By clicking it again, I'll do the reverse. And same for any of these. So forecast, it would sort it by numerical order. And then we can also sort these too. This is very useful from a portfolio view, for example. As a PMO, if I'm looking at this, I can sort this and see which projects are most critical. We can also add a drill through mechanism where you'd right click on the project from the report, and the option to drill through would show up here. When we click on that drill through, it would take us to the status report for that specific project, which would look like this. And this report's also customizable. If you did choose to have the drill through mechanism, there'd be a back button that you'd simply select, and it would take you back to the report which you drilled through from.
Thanks, Stella.
Of course, did we have any other question? Oh, how do you connect PPM 360 to project for the web? So Marquee 360 would do that for you. So PPM 360 is an accelerator, is our accelerator for project for the web. So we would install it as part of our PPM 360 package in your project deployment.
And what Stella showed today is just such a small piece of PPM 360. I know I went through that slide pretty quick, but it will basically, um, you can manage your whole project, portfolios, programs, your tasks, risks, issues. Um, we have a lot of PPM 360 demos on our YouTube channel, but also if you want a demo of the whole solution, please feel free to reach out to Megan. She can definitely set you up with a time.
Yeah, and then really quickly just touch on Kimberly's question. Yes, there's definitely a way to capture that. There's a way to capture most portfolio aspects within Project for the Web. So Kimberly, if you wanted to reach out to Megan or Erin, we can definitely do a demo. If you just provide a list of things specifically that you want us to touch on, we can go into more detail on those. PPM 360 is free as a part of the office. So no, PPM 360, we would we need to get with Megan because she can explain that more of how
Sure.
360 is, work.
Yeah, I'm going to be sending out a recording once we finalize here. So please feel free to keep asking questions. And, like I said in my earlier comment, we would love to do a demo for your company. So what we would do is we would just jump on a discovery call, find out what your wish list is, and design a demo that fits more to what your companies do, as everybody runs their processes differently. So just let us know.
And another quick note on Amy's question as far as how Power BI connects to Project for the Web. So yes, it does, and it's customizable on both sides. So anything we customize in Project for the Web for you, for anything from a field or parameters, you'll see in the data that's populated in Power BI. It actually, the Power BI, it allows for the admin to do a manual refresh, which would, of the data set. So it would pull in all the information from that time. It also allows up to 8 slots for refresh schedules that we would set for you. So for example, if, best practice, if you're in Central Standard Time, would be to start it at, 6 a.m. and then every 2 hours until all 8 slots were filled up. And that would also be something that we could set. And we also do admin training where we would train, kind of do a knowledge transfer and train your team on how to manage that long term. Anyone else have any other questions specifically about Power BI or, Project for the Web? Okay, great.
Thanks, everybody. If you signed up through Eventbrite, we also have more webinars coming up. So keep checking there, and we'll also be sending out invitations to our next ones. And like I said, we have a ton of recordings on our YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out and browse.